So the Rams defense was absolutely suffocating. I thought this was a really impressive performance. This is what the Rams defense does to teams. They've been doing it all year. They've done it to Seattle a couple times now. They're really good, and I sort of want to talk about what went right for them. Also, some things that went wrong, but really mostly went right. One of the things I thought the Rams did a really good job of is trying to get Aaron Donald as many one-on-one matchups as possible, and this plays a good example, where what you see on the screen is Donald is going to be going up one-on-one against the left guard, and the reason for this is because LA is in a 3-4, so there's, 5 guys on the line, all facing off against one offensive lineman, and while the edge rusher to Donald's side is actually going to drop back into coverage, he could be rushing, and so because of that, now basically everyone has one assigned man, and if your guy drops back into coverage, then you just find somebody to hit. The reason this is so effective for LA is now the center will not be able to run over and double team Donald, meaning he probably will have a one-on-one matchup. So anyways, Wilson takes the snap, and Donald gets some pressure, but this is actually a decent job. You see that Wilson has a little bit of a pocket that he can stay in, but it's running out. He pretty much has to make a decision right now. He could throw the ball away. He could take a sack. He could throw it to DK Metcalf, who you see in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. He's a little bit open right here. But Russell Wilson, he doesn't want to try and gain 5 yards or throw it away. It's a 1st and 25, so he's thinking maybe I can scramble outside the pocket and get a chunk play here. He tries to get away from Donald, but Donald just reaches his arm out, makes that immediate sack. Just an incredible play from Donald to not allow Russell Wilson to get away. I feel like I've seen Donald do that so many times, and he's a tough guy to get around, and you think you can get around him. Russell Wilson, obviously, he's a smart player. He's been in this league for a while. He typically knows what he can and can't get around, but Donald is just that good. There was also this one where it's kind of a similar idea. There's only 4 guys on the line this time, but look at where they're lined up. I mean, there's also another LA player who could be blitzing, so you don't know. He could be blitzing against the left guard. But the way it's set up right now is the 4 players who are currently in a 2-point stance are 3 of them are to Russell Wilson's right. One's lined up against the center, one's lined up against the guard, one's lined up against the tackle. Aaron Donald is the one against the guards, so again, this is a one-on-one matchup, which he can really thrive in. Watch how he just gets immediate pressure right here. That's just not great for Seattle's perspective, and it's a 3rd down and 20, but it basically just completely killed that play. It probably wasn't going to work anyways, but still, you got to find ways to double team him no matter what, but it's really difficult to do when LA does stuff like this that pretty much guarantees him a one-on-one matchup, and they put Aaron Donald in a position to succeed, and he's really good when he's in a position to succeed. I want to talk about this play because it's a good example of something I saw. I thought Wilson made some weird reads, and it's always difficult to really criticize someone too much for a bad read, just simply because, I don't have the all-22 footage. I'm only watching the broadcast footage, so how much of it actually is his fault, how much isn't. But there definitely were some times that I could see that just some weird decisions by Russell Wilson, I thought. So on this play, it's going to be a cover 3 zone blitz, and they have a concept that's good against cover 3. The blitz kind of throws things off a little bit because they'll have less time, but you have one receiver run deep. That's going to push the cornerback who's in charge of covering deep to Russell Wilson's left. He's going to run further deep. You have another receiver run underneath. That's the one I've circled in blue, the end of the route. That's where Wilson could throw to. I also have another route, and that's DK Metcalf, who's just running a, just quick route underneath the coverage. But these routes rarely work because the people can just come up and make a tackle. And if you make a throw in that direction, you're basically hoping that Metcalf can get some yards after the catch to get the 1st down. But Wilson never even looks to his left. He glances to his right for a second and pretty much just looks in between both checkdowns, throws one towards Metcalf. I just don't fully understand why he didn't look to his left. And again, I can't see the whole thing, and neither can you. We can't see exactly if it was open or not. But I do think that would have been a good read to take, and it was good against that coverage. So did it work? I don't know, but it doesn't matter because he never even looked in that direction. So that's kind of my criticism, is I would like to see him just look at that, and he just made some questionable read. Now let's talk about this play. This was the pick 6, and to be honest, this one wasn't really Russell Wilson's fault. I just talked about him making some poor reads, but again, that's kind of a nitpick. Don't take that too much. I noticed it a few times. It wasn't a huge deal, but it was something I noticed, and I figured it was big enough that I should bring it up. This play is just a big play, so that's why I'm bringing it up. But it's actually just a great play from Darius Williams, I think. So it's just going to be a quick wide receiver screen to DK Metcalf, nothing too fancy. But watch Williams, who I've circled, who's, he's an incredible player. I've talked a lot about him this season, but obviously him across from Ramsey, it's just such a great 1-2 punch. The second this play starts, look how Williams noticed it. He noticed something at the line. He figured out what this play was. I don't know what, but he figured it out. Okay, this is a screen pass. He's now trying and jumping the route. And you look, and this isn't, it's kind of weird because I think some people would probably criticize Russell Wilson for not just eating it here, but I think that's really difficult to do, especially when you can still make this block right here. Like, there is time to make this block. That's Freddie Swain, who, let's be honest, I got to call him out. He should have made this block, and that's not great. Also, I think some people might say, like, well, DK Metcalf, run closer to the quarterback, help out Freddie Swain, and I do typically like it when you run closer to the quarterback, but at the same time, I think that's, again, it's a nitpick, and there was maybe some slight mistakes you could argue with Seattle, but sometimes it's just a great play, and sometimes you got to say, you know what, that sucks that, we didn't really do much wrong there, and the defense makes a great play, and that puts 7 points on the board for them, but that's football. Watch his break. Makes the grab on the run, so that way he's able to outrun everybody. Even DK Metcalf, he says, you're not going to, make me into a meme like he did with Buda Baker. He runs and gets the touchdown. So that was a huge play, but Seattle did bounce right back. That's when this play would happen, and, credit to Fox giving me the all-22 for this footage, or giving all of us the all-22, not like me in particular, but this really helps explain exactly what happened here on this touchdown, where it's going to be a cover 2 zone blitz for LA. They like to run some zone blitzes every now and then. A lot of teams, when they blitz, they like to do it in man. Well, the Rams will do it in zone, which isn't a terrible thing, but this play is very interesting. So you see the routes on the screen, and the 2 routes that you're probably looking at that could make sense would be the 2 ones closest towards either sideline, so furthest away from the middle of the field, because there is that little gap, where they could both get open. This is that honey hole area. You want to throw it here because it can absolutely work out, and it can work out well. So, that's what Russell Wilson is probably thinking right here. However, once Wilson takes the snap, there is openings there. He could have tried to fire it, but you now notice that both safeties, both players who are deep, one of them is actually Darius Williams, the guy who I just talked about. He's on the top of the screen. He's going to crash in and try and, they're both going to crash in and try and take away the 2 players who are running routes that were in gaps in coverage, which is kind of taking that first read away from Wilson. The problem now is if you look at that blue circle, that's DK Metcalf, who he now realizes this, and basically the entire middle of the field deep is going to be open. And if a Seattle player recognizes it before an LA player recognizes it, that can be good for Seattle. And this is kind of why sometimes when you play in aggressive zone where you have your players sometimes abandon their assignments if they feel like it's necessary. And if plays go on for too long, it can be an issue. And plays typically don't go on for too long when it's against the Rams defense, but Russell Wilson is going to be able to work some magic here. He scrambles outside the pocket, which is going to give Metcalf time to get open deep. He then makes the throw deep, and they're able to get a touchdown. Just a really good play from Wilson, really good awareness from Metcalf. It's maybe a mistake from the Rams, but I kind of feel like that's the flip side of the play I just showed, where it's like sometimes you make a couple small mistakes and it results in a huge play against you, and I feel like that's kind of what happened. I think more than anything, it was just good awareness from Metcalf and a good throw from Wilson. So yeah, that's what I thought. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. Always love hearing from you, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.